What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. I'm happy to be back, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, John, Luke, and Josh. What's up, boys?
What's up? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling better. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm feeling a lot better health-wise. So I'm just glad to be back on here. I missed you guys. Guys, also joining us today for this mock draft Monday is great friend of the show. You can find him on Twitter at ChaboyJRich. He's the producer for Wake Up with Ray G. Jordan Richards, thank you so much for coming on with us today, my man.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here. Mock draft. We were doing a mock draft earlier this morning, so another mock draft Monday. I love it. I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
I'm in the new setup. If you guys didn't notice, I moved.
Looks fly.
Yes,
so a little different.
I like it.
It's a different bedroom or just a different angle of the same bedroom?
Different bedroom, different house, different location.
Same.
So hopefully better results, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll have to go through the mock draft to find out.
Exactly.
People who
Jordan,
own
you
the house
didn't
don't
warn
come
us.
in during the stream.
You didn't warn us that you were practicing before this. We would have gotten a couple
that's
practice
not fair.
runs in. That's some BS
well,
right there, but whatever.
You
We'll
give
see.
me a few hours of time, I'm going to take advantage of it.
Okay, next time we're not telling you what we're doing on the show until you join the stream, and then we'll let you know. But guys, today, like we said, we're doing a mock draft, and this is our first mock draft of the offseason, the NFL offseason. I think we did one last week, but now the NFL regular season is over, and we are doing a tight end premium dynasty mock draft. So this is going to be a tight end premium dynasty mock draft. And guys, we actually have 3 spots left in this draft. So I'm posting the link in the chat right now. If you want it, it's first come, first serve.
Get in
hit
here.
that link, hit that button, and we will start once the slots are filled.
There's some good spots left. The 3rd spot, the 6th spot, the 8th spot. So there's lots of fun to be had. Hop in there.
Lots of fun to be had.
Unless you pick the 8th spot, that's going to be nothing but torture. But the 3 and 6,
you'd be right after Simon. So yeah, that's
sniping all the good.
No one will be next to you, Simon. Apparently.
Yeah, everyone hates me. We got Maria in here saying, good afternoon, gentlemen. Glad to have you here, Maria. And Justin, Maria. What's up? He's got a question for us. It's not NFL, but it's college football. Okay. Bama or Georgia tonight in the national championship game. Jordan, we'll come to you first. Who do you think is going to take this one?
I'm rolling with the Tide. Alabama. I think they're going to win pretty handily again against Georgia in the Natty.
Ooh, so right now I believe different sports books have different lines, but it's between 2.5 and 3 favoring
FanDuel
Georgia right now everywhere I've seen.
Minus 2.5 for Georgia.
Minus 2.5. I've seen 3 today as well from different sports books.
With
but
a
JL,
52.5 point over under.
Yeah, Jordan's taking Bama big, so it's looking like to cover the spread as well.
Over.
You'll take the over?
Really? You want the over?
52.5?
Yeah. 52.5. Yeah, I'll take
great defenses, but we've seen these teams
but
score some points in the past too, right?
They have scored some points. Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win it, Joe?
I was hoping that you'd forget that I was here or that I
thought you'd get away with it just by picking the over under, and I'd move on to Josh.
Yeah, I was really trying to just use some psychology here. I'm going to go with this is who I think will win, not who I want to win. Right? I think Georgia will win.
And you want Bama to win, or you want Georgia?
I want Bama to win. Yeah,
you want Bama to win. Josh, what about you?
The logical side of me is saying Georgia's going to win this game, but there's something my gut's telling me Alabama's coming out on top. I'm taking Alabama here, and I'll take the 2.5 points with Alabama because I can see it being a close game.
You know what? And I'll go Georgia with JL. I think Georgia gets it done. I saw something this morning. I love stats that don't matter, and I saw a perfect one this morning. 5 times, this being one of them, have teams that are ranked in the top 5 had a rematch in the national title game. The previous 4 times, the person who lost the first game won the second one, and I am saying that trend continues and that Georgia wins this one. Those are the best stats, right? The ones that don't actually mean anything.
Yeah.
What about the one about how Kirby Smart is 0-4 against Alabama?
I'm choosing to ignore that one. That's the one.
Well, that stat doesn't mean anything. Why would we?
Oh, okay. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Justin says, how did the Colts lose to the Jags? Because we live in a simulation. None of this is real, and
they didn't lose either. They got whooped by the Jags.
It happened so that everyone would watch Sunday Night Football to get ratings up to cheer for the tie. That's why the Colts lost to the Jags.
Did it work, man? That game was insane.
I was cheering for the tie so hard.
Everyone was cheering for the tie.
Man,
I think Steelers fans.
The Steelers were.
Yeah, Steelers fans weren't, but
I do hate the narrative that Brandon Staley caused them to kick that field goal by calling the timeout there at the end. They were going to kick the damn field goal anyways. Like
Derek Carr said it changed their strategy. He actually said that.
Man, I just don't buy it. Like, if you have an opportunity to play the Bengals in the first round instead of the Chiefs by kicking a field goal when you've been just absolutely like plastered by the Chiefs 2 times this season, I think they were kicking that field goal regardless.
I think so too.
I think they were, but I know it was a running play on that third down there. I think things would have changed depending on if they didn't get so much yardage on that third down. It would have been over a 50-yard field goal. They might have been much more difficult. Yeah, you're right. But they got the first down. They made it close enough to kick the field goal.
We got Joey in here. Simon's back and the world is a better place. Completely unrelated. Just 2 statements of fact about today. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. Good afternoon. Glad to have you here. And Jay Wall said, wife and I got COVID. That's what you get for driving through Texas. They just give it to everyone on the way out. But symptoms aren't too bad because we're vaxxed and boosted. Glad you're in here, Jay Wall. Hopefully this mock draft is a little reprieve from the COVID quarantine that you're having. Jordan said the better Jordan is on. Yeah, no arguments here, Jordan.
I can agree with that.
Also, Jordan said, sorry I couldn't make it, boys. I forgot the national championship game is going on. No worries. Jordan is
going on right now.
Is a college football DFS stud. He is the man in college football DFS. So if you guys want some tips on that, make sure you're following him. He knows what he's doing over there. Also, Jail's mom in here says, hello, FYF, and welcome back, Simon. You were missed. Thank you so much. I missed you. And Albert wants to know, which first-round matchup are you most looking forward to? So, guys,
matchup?
We've got 1 spot left in the draft, the 3 spot. We'll see if someone wants to fill that. I'm going to post it in here as well. As soon as that's filled, we'll start the draft. Josh, you can if you want, if you're hosting. But Jordan, is there a particular first-round matchup in these playoffs that you're looking forward to?
That's
I can run through them real fast if you want.
I got one.
I think it's Dallas, Arizona. I want to see Arizona beat Dallas in Dallas again. That's what I want to see. It's not Dallas anymore, right?
It's Arizona Rams and Dallas.
That's what it is. See, I forgot they changed because teams have to lose.
I'll still go with Dallas 49ers.
That's the game I was going to bring up. I have no idea what's going to happen there.
That's the 4:30 game, right?
God, it's 1 o'clock. No, 4:30. You're right. No, you're right. 4:30 on Sunday.
All right,
man.
I'll go Bengals Raiders. I think that'll be a very fun game to watch.
I want 49ers Cowboys.
I'm just so intrigued.
I have no idea who's going to win that game.
I'm all over the place today.
And then Bengals Raiders, Jail. I'm with you on that one too. That one looks like it's going to be fun. But I think the Bengals
second
walk away
after
with it.
49ers Cowboys would be Cardinals Rams. It's an interdivisional matchup
that
that
Monday
we've seen a couple
night
times.
crew though. No thanks.
I get that, but at the same time, Cardinals Rams. Who are you taking in that game? The Rams are 4-point favorites, and they're at home. So I guess I'd lean that direction. But it should be a good game.
The Cardinals are a team that look like they can beat anybody on some days and lose to anybody on those days. So I don't know how that's going to work out. We got Jail's mom in here said big no on Mama. Bama. Big no on Bama, but I like this one better. Big no on Mama.
And then she goes, try this again. Big no on Mama.
Autocorrect's a bitch, ain't it? It just ruins everything if you don't type Bama enough. Just spend 10 minutes typing Bama over and over again, and it'll
now
how are they not talking about this? I was just talking about this morning.
Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get the mock draft started now that we're full, and then we can talk about this. Okay. So
very interesting.
Alabama's winless in 2022. How are they not talking about it?
I don't know. And look who filled that last spot. Eagle Dan the man himself. Dan, glad to have you in here. We are going to start this
I'm not part of this draft, so I want to have a little fun myself. I'm going to roast you if you have bad picks. I am being harsh today.
A reminder to everyone watching as you're drafting, this is a tight end premium Dynasty Startup mock draft. So tight ends are at a premium 1.5 PPR. Everyone else is 1 PPR. So make sure you keep that in mind. Not SuperFlex.
PPR for everyone else. And then we start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flex positions.
2 flex. That's where it gets fun, right? Yeah. And obviously this is not a full draft. We're only doing 12 rounds. A real dynasty draft would probably be another 10 rounds, but
at least.
But that's okay. That's what we're doing right here. And I'm going to mute these sounds.
So my gosh. Okay. So we're starting off the draft. The first 3 picks. Jonathan Taylor makes sense. DeAndre Swift makes sense. Kyle Pitts, holy crap. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but it's a little bit surprising. And that's followed up by Alvin Kamara and Najee Harris and Austin Eckler. So we're starting off this draft spicy, like you said, Jordan, right?
Oh no, and it's my pick.
Very spicy.
So obviously you wanted the 101 Jordan, and you're pretty happy getting Jonathan Taylor there.
Yeah, I joked in the thread saying I was going to take Kyle Pitts 101, but yeah, that's a little too bold for me.
It's tight end premium though, so it's a dynasty league tight end premium. This guy's he's 21 years old. You're gonna have him for years to come. There's an argument to be made, right? At the very least.
My problem with tight end premium is that at 1.5, it's not really enough of a premium to where I'm willing to go all in on tight ends. If it was a start 2 tight end or it's a 2 point per reception, that's the one thing in the statistics people need to really look at. If it's 1.5, it's really not overly worth it to go 2 tight end heavy. Maybe they bump up a couple rounds, but not when you see the Kyle Pitts in the first round, the Travis Kelce's in the first round. That is when you get to even larger premiums like you see in Scott Fish Bowl, or you see in a start 2 or a 2 point per reception league.
I've never done a start 2 tight end league, but holy crap,
they are wild.
That sounds wild.
I'm in a league.
You would have to go tight end first round almost.
Yeah, like I'm in a league where I have Kyle Pitts as my tight end 1, but like my tight end 2 is still like Jared Cook, because it's just there's only so many to go around, right?
We got Jake Trowbridge in the chat, says he can't wait for this T premium action. Earl Grey should be a first round pick. And he said, just kidding. I fucking hate T. Sorry, Mom.
I love T.
Me too. I just bought a new T set. Isn't that cool?
Kaysen's asking, what is tight end premium? Essentially, instead of everyone in the draft, every running back and wide receiver, it's a PPR league. They get a point per catch. Tight ends, however, get 1.5 points per catch. So it's a little bit more valuable. It's a way to make the tight end position a little bit more important.
Kind of makes the tight end on par with running backs and wide receivers scoring wise, or at least that's the goal, right? That's the premise.
And you saw us just had this conversation with Jordan where like there's other leagues, there's 2 tight end leagues where it makes it even more valuable. You can have a 2 point per reception tight end league, but this is a classic tight end premium league. Just a little bit more extra for the tight ends. Oh, it sounds like JL got sniped. I'm assuming it's either Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill. I could see both, but he's high on Christian McCaffrey as well.
He is. I think
so. After he makes his pick, I would love to ask him about that.
What do I do now?
Yeah, you got to decide. I'll wrap up the first round. Like I said, we had Kyle Pitts at 3, Kamara at 4, Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Justin Jefferson, Ja'Marr Chase, Joe Mixon, Javonte Williams, CeeDee Lamb, and Christian McCaffrey, wrapping up the 12th pick of the first round.
I was going, man, it's going to be all offseason over and over and over and over again, going between Ja'Marr Chase and Justin Jefferson as my dynasty wide receiver 1. I sat there and debated it. Like, I've got Jefferson number 1 in my rankings right now, but every time I look at it, I want to change it to Chase. Then if I put Chase in there, every time I look at it, I want to change it to Jefferson. I just can't decide. It's just
I think JL, Josh, and I.
What's your reasoning though for Jefferson over Chase?
I was about to ask who's yours, Jordan. But yeah, go ahead, Simon.
Mine is Chase.
Okay.
I'd say pretty considerably.
It's just production over 2 years. It's a little bit safer in my eyes. I view Chase on a similar level. I've seen Justin Jefferson do it 2 years in a row now at a high level. So it's
less
just a little bit more safety. Adam Thielen's the only competition, but having Joe Burrow attached to Ja'Marr Chase makes the argument even more enticing to put Ja'Marr Chase at number 1. I'll flip it 20 times this offseason. Jordan, why do you have Chase 1 and by a hefty margin? It sounds like
it's like you said, right? It comes down to Burrow. Like, he's going to have Burrow as his quarterback for the next 8 years, probably easily. So with that being said, like, we know that Cousins is there now, but we don't know. I believe Cousins is only under contract for 1 more year. And then what are they going to do? Is they're going to bring in a better quarterback? I don't know. And so that's where, like, Jefferson's great, but he could be a lot better if Kirk Cousins was slightly better, or if they had a better quarterback, or, obviously Zimmer's now been fired. So now who do they bring in? How does Jefferson fit into that offense? That's the big thing with Minnesota. You love the funnel of the way they operate their offense. But if that changes going forward, what does that kind of look like? Simon, obviously now on the clock.
Shoot. So I just got sniped. I love this draft from the person in front of me real quick so far. That is having a phenomenal draft.
Way better than Jefferson and whatever you could come up with. Just being honest.
Let me just say this real fast. While Joe Burrow, we're going to say Joe Burrow is the better quarterback than Kirk Cousins, right? I think we'll kind of all agree there.
Yeah.
Maybe? Justin Jefferson's been an elite producer, a almost historic producer the last few years with Kirk Cousins. Now that just haven't, and he's been so consistent over that time. He's obviously the most talented person on the Vikings. They know that, and they're going to build around him. So Ja'Marr Chase, Joe Mixon's still there. I mean, obviously the Vikings have Dalvin Cook, but I think he's on the back end of his career personally. I don't know. I just feel like even with a quarterback as good as Kirk Cousins and being the guy on the offense, I'm so excited about Justin Jefferson for years to come. Ja'Marr Chase too. We're splitting hairs, right? We're splitting hairs.
Also, we got Brady in here. What's up, Brady? Go Tigers for sure. And he said, Jay Rich, you guys are moving up in the world with Jay Rich on the show.
Hell
yes, we are.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But I appreciate the compliment.
So I want to come back to the beginning of the second round here. It started Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Dalvin Cook, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce, and Stephon Diggs starting off the second round. JL, you were the second round. You took AJ Brown right there. Your first pick in the first round was CeeDee Lamb. So you have CeeDee Lamb and AJ Brown, two young wide receiver studs. How are you feeling about your start here?
I'm feeling all right.
And were you
feeling all right? I was sniped. I was hoping CMC would fall back to me. When I was picking Lamb, I was trying to decide whether J Wall would more likely go CMC or CeeDee Lamb, and I was hoping that all the hatred towards CMC lately would let him fall. He didn't, so I had to pivot. A. Brown was kind of a panic pick, but in Dynasty, I feel like you can't go wrong if you go young, really talented wide receivers, and then build around that. So I don't love it. I usually
if I was in your position drafting, I would have taken the same exact two people.
Yes.
So I would not have changed one thing. I love those two.
You love these two guys. I know you.
I would have passed on the second pick just to up the difficulty level, but you're a coward. So
just omit it. Just
omit it.
Take no one.
Yeah, okay. Take no one right there.
But real fast, Simon, these spots, would you have taken CeeDee Lamb and AJ Brown?
Probably. I most likely would have. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's my third wide receiver in Dynasty right now. And then I would have been going. I wouldn't have taken AJ Brown actually. Okay. There's a couple receivers I had ahead of him that are still on the board. Terry McLaurin, DJ Moore.
Terry McLaurin's ahead of AJ Brown in Dynasty.
Oh no way!
In my rankings right now, yeah.
Holy crap!
They're close. They're right there.
How about you, Jordan? CeeDee Lamb. Do you like him in the first round there?
Yeah, I like it. There's a lot of running backs already gone, so I definitely like the high upside of having Lamb on the roster. I would be tempted to go CMC though. So, depending on, because again, what's coming back to you is Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, or AJ Brown. I really like those three receivers a lot. Point. I do love AJ Brown. Like if you wanted to go Cooper Kupp, same thing, right? Not quite as young, but still uber productive. If you want to go Devontae Adams, still uber productive. But again, I like the pick. Lamb is obviously stupid talented, and I honestly love AJ Brown too. I think that he's underutilized in Tennessee. I think he's limited by the offense and Ryan Tannehill a little bit. If he was actually fully healthy for a whole season and really dominating, he still shows whenever he's healthy and on the field, he's one of the best receivers in football. It just comes down to how much volume is he going to get relative to a Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and usually it's significantly lower, and that's the only reason why he doesn't go as high as he really could go.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. I considered going one of the tight ends, but it just felt like it was reaching a little bit. It felt like it was reaching. I didn't really want to take Andrews at the top of the second round.
In a tight end premium, I would have been fine with you taking Andrews there, but
I would have been fine too. I would have been fine too, but I figured none of those three were going to make it back to me, and they did not. But that's okay.
I'm sure Simon's really happy. I mean, we just had this discussion about Terry McLaurin being over AJ Brown for you. So you're getting him in the middle of the third round there, Simon. So your team's looking like Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, and Terry McLaurin. You must be happy.
I'm thrilled with my start. And it seems like people in the chat are not think that take is absolutely ridiculous. Terry McLaurin over AJ Brown. Do you guys think that take is preposterous? Jordan, I'm just curious your take. Like, I understand if you disagree, but is that a crime against fantasy football?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think that he's that talented. To see obviously Saquon Barkley 311. Whoa. I know Joe Judge is still there, but that's pretty late. And I'm definitely to take him over ETN. ETN
I would take him over
3-9.
I love ETN.
I think I would too. I think there's a lot of upside there. But going back
I'm not
to
saying
AJ Brown,
ETN's a bad pick though either. So
I think that Washington with a quarterback would be a spectacular offense. But we can say that about a lot of offenses. And so is Is Ryan Tannehill so bad that he limits AJ Brown? No, I don't think so. But Terry McLaurin is definitely limited by the quarterback play in
100%.
Washington. And so I think there's definitely top 5 upside if there was a capable quarterback who's there for the whole season.
I think you hit the nail on the head. That's my reasoning. He's producing great numbers for fantasy, even with this abysmal, one of the worst quarterback situations in the entire league for him. The talent is there. I just have all the belief in the world. And again, I played Dynasty in a couple-year window. I don't think this Titans team wants AJ Brown to be the focal point of this offense for the next 2 to 3 years. They want it to be Derrick Henry. That's not saying he can't be a top 5, top 10 guy. I got him a little bit below Terry. Where do I have him right now in Dynasty? He's my wide receiver 9 in Dynasty, which I think is fine.
So Jordan, there was one team in this entire draft in the first 3 rounds that went 3 running backs with their first 3 picks, and that happened to be you with the 101 pick. How do you feel about that strategy in a Dynasty league?
I love it, honestly. Again, so I took Jonathan Taylor 101, came back with Derrick Henry and Cam Akers. These are 3 running backs that I believe have top 5 potential. Right. So I'm not going and getting an Antonio Gibson that maybe could be top 5, but wasn't producing like it. I got the best running back in football in Jonathan Taylor. I got the second best running back in football in Derrick Henry. And I have Cam Akers, who has a stupid upside if the Rams give him a full workload next season. I understand the concerns with Cam Akers, but he's already back. And so it's like, if we're talking Dynasty going into next season, how healthy Cam Akers is going to be, he's going to be full go. He's going to be ready to go. I thought about DK Metcalf there because, again, elite ceiling, very high upside. But if for some reason Russell Wilson leaves, I believe DK Metcalf's floor is not the basement, but a lot lower than what we've seen from him. Tied to Russell Wilson is a massive advantage for him. And so I went Cam Akers. And again, I also believe that when it comes to wide receivers, I don't like to take them overly high because they have limited upside to go up in value. I like to take ones in the 4th, 5th round, guys that I believe have much higher ceilings than they're being drafted as. So there's room for growth there. We've seen a lot of wide receivers go already that I was targeting or potentially targeting, but I think there's still plenty left that you can find value in.
Well,
I'm with you.
Auto pick for me on that one since he made it there to me.
Oh, celebrating. Okay, it wasn't automatically drafted for you.
I auto picked the.
It wasn't even a question in your mind.
The only wide receiver in NFL history to start their career with 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons, Mike Evans in the 4th round, is where I went.
He's also
disrespect.
He's one of the fastest to get 70 touchdowns, I believe, out of all wide receivers. He's in a group with Randy Moss, Jerry Rice. I think Devontae Adams is in that grouping as well. Great job.
Mr. Scabers has a question for us. Have any of you played in a tiered PPR where 0 to 5 is worth half, 5 to 15 is worth 0.75, et cetera, et cetera? Have any of you guys played in a league like that? I have not.
Nope.
I have not. No.
So I'm assuming that's yardage?
I was thinking receptions. If you had 0 to 5 receptions, each of them was worth 0.5. And then a tax bracket, the next one's up, reception 6 through 15.
Seems like it would get out of hand.
7.5.
No, I think that's seems like it seems like a modified big play scoring, right? So I don't know if you guys have played in big play scoring leagues where it's 30+ yard plays, 40+ yard plays, where it's he's saying it's yardage. So again, longer receptions are worth more points. I haven't played in a league like that in a long time. I think I played in one years ago. Again, it's kind of weird because it's do you want a guy who's a deep threat, intermediate? I don't think it does much of a difference as far as what you ultimately get, but again, we'll see.
So Jay's coming in here saying Lamb was the better pick. He's going to shout out to his 1st round pick to JL. So he's saying good job, JL. He likes to see the Lamb pick there, and I agree 100%. FYF Maria saying glad to see your boy Rich. Yeah, Jay Rich on here again. We're all happy to see it, right? When it comes down to it.
We're always
nice pick, Jay. Shout out Jay for that pick as well, right there. Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper.
Yeah, another one of Simon's loves.
I was hoping to get him in the next round.
I'm really interested to see where Jordan goes here, having gone 3 running backs the first 3 picks.
Oh, I love those 2 picks.
Nice. Man, Jordan, it's all that practice you got
that was tough.
I'm jealous of your team.
That was
Brady. Brady is in here just hyping up his pick ETN over Saquon. Hey, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
ETN's upside through the roof. ETN fan, but I could not do that.
I won't say it, but I'm not saying you're wrong. But I'm not going to say that out loud. I'm not putting that on me.
Albert is asking if we're worried about AJ Brown's injuries, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I really am. I am worried about his injuries, but he is an elite talent when he's on the field. He's still young, but if these injuries continue to pop up, he's quickly. I mean, like at this point, he's got a short leash in terms of injuries for me. So I am concerned, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt at this point. How about you, Jordan? Are you concerned about AJ Brown's injuries?
A little, it's been a few too many for my liking. I'm still all in on AJ Brown. I don't know if I'd be actively trading for him because of the injuries. But again, when he's on the field, he's a mega producer, like at an extremely high level. So that's where it's just like you kind of take the good with the bad. And I talk about like even who's off the board, Elijah Mitchell at 4-3, which is crazy. And I have to ask you guys, after Elijah Mitchell was Ezekiel Elliott, James Robinson, David Montgomery, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. How do you feel about Elijah Mitchell in San Francisco? Obviously, the spot is tremendous, but I believe he only played 12 games this season. He was kind of in and out of the lineup, but when he was in the lineup, 17 plus carries, I believe, in all of his games except for one, and that was a game against the Rams, and produced at an extremely high level. 6th-round picks, so not a whole lot of draft insulation, but extremely talented. How do you guys feel about Mitchell?
So I really like Mitchell. Yeah. He'd be my 4th rookie running back from this year. I did a little video on it, and I had Travis Etienne rated ahead of Elijah Mitchell still, and I actually got some heat for that. And I was a little surprised. I mean, not surprised. I mean, they're close. That was the toughest decision I had to make, Travis Etienne or Elijah Mitchell. So I don't think it's crazy where he went, personally.
I have zero faith that he'll be the lead back there next year. He could be. It's in the realm of possibilities, but I just don't trust that system to keep him as the lead back. Yeah.
Would you say it's likely? I'm wondering. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a long off season. They could add someone, they could draft someone. I don't know. And they've shown the propensity to do that in the past, to load up their running back room. So I'm waiting and seeing with Elijah Mitchell, but I would not draft him this high. That's not where I would be taking him in a dynasty startup with this early in the off season.
So you'd be taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, and Aaron Jones over him, I'm assuming?
Yep. I would take all of those guys over him.
Makes sense. Man,
and Gary, that was what I was debating. Miles Sanders, Patrick Mahomes, but I didn't want to go tight end and quarterback in those first 5 rounds. It would really make it difficult drafting, pigeonhole my draft the rest of the time. Also, I love this. When Scott says, I love when Josh says, I'm going to be honest with you, because when he says it, I assume his previous statements without that preface were all lies.
No, you gotta take it more like this. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like I might hurt someone's feelings right here, but I'm going to be honest because even though I might hurt your feelings saying this, that's more how you got to take it, like when someone's doing something dumb and they don't really want to hear it yet, but you feel like you got to tell them, like that kind of situation, right?
You're going to be honest.
Uneasy Allies has a question for us. Our first dynasty trade question of the offseason says, I'm in a 10-man SuperFlex PPR league. I have the 103 and 104. Should I trade the 104 for the 108 and a 23 first? Thanks in advance. Jordan, what do you think on this one? Would you take the 103 side or the 104 side or the 108 and a 23 first?
It depends on team need, but chances are, I would probably do that. The elite talent lies in the wide receivers, and the running backs and the quarterbacks are kind of just iffy. So 23 is going to be loaded.
Yes.
So I definitely think that's worth it. You're only going down a few spots and you're picking up another first. It's probably going to work out in your favor more than likely.
I'm with you.
And the wide receiver depth is supposed to be pretty good this draft class. So I think you could probably get a pretty good wide receiver at 108. And like Jordan said, the 2023 class is hyped.
Having the 103 makes us all right. And Jordan, you hit the nail on that. This is a great wide receiver class. I think it's been getting too much hate because of the lack of running backs and quarterbacks here. If you need wide receiver, maybe keep up those picks. But if you're looking for running back or quarterback, I'm with Jordan. Move to the other side. Oh no, it's my pick.
Simon, make that pick. So JL, your last pick was Rashad Bateman.
It was Rashad Bateman. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? He's going in between Adam Thielen and Tyler Lockett, 2 older receivers at this point. So he hasn't really shown the elite production yet, but we've liked what we've seen out of him so far, right, JL?
Absolutely. He was a very interesting prospect coming out of college, coming to the league, and a lot of people discounted him because he's going to the Ravens, who don't pass very often. They don't pass as a team as much as most other teams. But Rashad Bateman, even though he hasn't really produced from a fantasy perspective so far, he has shown a lot of promise. And his the targets he's been commanding this season, even with the backup, with Lamar being out, has shown me that he's an elite talent. I'm super excited for Rashad Bateman's future. I'm perfectly happy getting him where I got him.
I think that's right where you'll see him go in most drafts you see, right? I think we're going to see Amon-Ra St. Brown go above him. I like that pick at this point. I think we'll typically see Hollywood Brown go above him, but I think their dynasty value, Brown and Bateman's dynasty value is
24 years
similar.
old compared to 22 years old.
Yeah. Rashad Bateman more has that prototypical build that you want in your, number one wide receiver in a fantasy league,
right?
And compared to Marquise Brown.
Oh God,
upside.
I think I made a
starting
mistake
to see this
Waller.
quarterback go. You think you made a mistake with Waller going in the beginning of the fourth round? You took Waller with the 402. So you don't like how your team's coming together. You only start 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs. So it looks like your starting lineup's looking pretty solid so far.
And 2 flex.
I like my team so far. I probably wouldn't have made that Waller pick. I feel like I'm really cooling on Waller. I might even consider taking.
I'm a little surprised seeing Higgins there, and he was available.
I was going back between Higgins and Waller, and I went Waller because I was like, there's probably I'm going to miss out on this next tier of tight end. Which is just part of the game, right? This is why we mock draft, because it helps you see those types of things. You don't want to make those panic picks.
Yep. Albert has a question for us. Elijah Moore or Bateman in Dynasty? Josh, what do you think on this one? Moore or Bateman?
Elijah Moore would be my 4th favorite rookie wide receiver from this season, and Bateman would be my 6th.
So Moore. Jordan, what about you? Is it Moore or is it Bateman?
Jordan's on the clock.
It would be Moore for me. No,
Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. I got my short list. It's just choosing who I want to go with.
You got plenty of time. Don't stress. It's not like it's 10 seconds or anything.
I'm going to call my shot. I'm going to call my shot with Darnell Mooney.
That was the pick, man. That was the pick.
I didn't feel great about it. But I saw him down there. I was like, you know what? He has 1,000 yards, 3 quarterbacks. Matt Nagy finally gone. 701, not terrible. A lot of young talent on my team, obviously. Smith, Judy, Ayuk, Mooney now, just loading up on that 2020 draft class. But I just think there's a lot of upside there. What he's been doing with Fields is incredible. I just think it continues. I just think it continues to grow more and more and more.
Jordan, I don't even think you're loading up. You have your running backs. There's 2 running backs from the 2022 draft class too.
It was a good draft class.
You have 6 players from the 2022 draft class.
Man,
I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
They're gonna bully Derrick Henry. They're gonna bully him for being old on your team. Everyone else is 2020 gang. They're all gonna have
players from the 2022, the 2020 draft class, not the 2022. I'm sorry.
I have another one. I think it's not. No, he's not. He's from 2019, but. He's in my queue as well. There's another one I almost took, so we'll see. Maybe I'll get some more.
That draft class was freaking loaded with studs. So no blaming it. Not blaming you at all here. And I like how you look. I was a little bit concerned with your 3 running backs right off the bat, but following up with these 4 wide receivers, I love this team. I love this team.
It is. And Jay said you sniped him right there, that he was in his queue. And Jaywell says he likes Enha's 1995's draft, a mix of youth and vets. Yeah, I really love the start of that draft right there.
Yeah.
And while I'm making my pick, Kaysen said, how do you guys feel about the Broncos with Fangio gone? Jordan, how do you feel about the Broncos now? Does that upgrade those players for you or about the same?
I wouldn't say it upgrades them per se. It's funny. I was actually debating taking Fant there, even though I already have Judy. I just think that they are just a team that's ready for a quarterback. I think they're going to be hunting for a quarterback. And if they get even a decent one, every single player on that offense is heavily upgraded. And so at that point, you want to take your shots on the Judys, the Suttons, the Fants, because they're going to be the highly targeted guys in this offense. Javonte, obviously, we saw it go 110. I think we're all projecting a quarterback to be there, but I don't think the value has quite got there yet. So if you're drafting now, you can look to exploit some of those value gaps because the quarterback isn't there. But the moment a good quarterback goes to Denver, if they go there, I guess is kind of the final question. I think the value goes way up, like in a major way for all these guys.
Yeah.
If they get one of those top tier quarterbacks, holy crap. Jerry Jeudy, no offense, their dynasty value
To the moon.
skyrockets. To the moon.
that would make me so happy for Jeudy. I would throw a party just for Jerry Jeudy if that happened.
If Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver, are you drafting Jerry Jeudy or DJ Moore next year?
Jerry Jeudy.
Who's the QB
Right?
for Panthers?
Doesn't matter.
All right, let's say
doesn't
Jalen
matter.
Waddle. Jerry
Tom
Jeudy or Jalen
Brady.
Waddle?
If Jalen
Jerry
Waddle's the
Jeudy with
QB,
Aaron Rodgers.
if Jalen
or
Waddle's the
Jalen
QB of the Panthers, I would probably go Jeudy.
It's
then.
probably an upgrade. But
Probably.
I'll take Jerry Jeudy probably over Jalen Waddle going into next year if he has Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
It's a conversation that you have to have, right? Sutton
Yeah.
and Jeudy, if they get a Russ, if they get a Rodgers, like you see what they've done with the receivers, they will be infinitely better.
Yes.
Also, Scott in here saying Simon. Who's Simon? But he drinks tea while writing letters with his fountain pens. Maybe that's fancy Simon. Simon with a D. That turns Simon fancy.
Simon.
And then Scott wants to know which draft spots you guys finding you like so far in the mocks you have done well. Looking at this one, number one. Jordan's
I like the
team is
101.
killer. Not the
I will
seven.
say Superflex matters in that conversation too.
Yeah.
If it's a Superflex draft, it's going to be completely different when it comes down to it, right? I always like middle draft spots so I can read the draft myself.
So Kyle loved most of the
don't know
first
what
round,
to
except
do.
he hated your pick, JL. He said the Mixon
Aw.
and Lamb picks would be the only guys I don't consider first rounders in this format. So Kyle with the
Ooh.
attack directly.
I consider
for you.
Lamb a first round pick still in this format.
I'm surprised Rashad Penny's still on the board, to be honest.
Take him.
I'm totally kidding.
I thought you were serious, honestly.
No,
I was like,
100%
I mean, and I didn't have that much issue with you saying it.
J-Wall,
Ky-
freaking hate you.
That
Kyle's-
was a nice pick.
Kyle said the only problem with your question, Josh, if the Packers trade Rodgers to the Broncos, I suspect Jerry Jeudy will be part of that deal.
Maybe.
Oh my God, that would be the worst thing ever if I saw the Rodgers to the Broncos trade
it
and then
wouldn't be a
found out
trade,
Jeudy was involved.
right? Isn't Aaron
It would
Rodgers-
have to be a trade, right? He's still got another year, I believe.
Does he? Okay.
Am
I think
incorrect
technically,
there?
yeah, but they may just get rid of it, like dissolve the last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember there being another year on that contract. Justin loves Joey's draft. Well, I love Joey, so we got that in
That
common. Right
Damian Harris pick was excellent. I was really hoping he'd fall back to me.
Yeah, that's good value in Damian Harris.
Josh, what do you think on this one from Mr. Scampers? Is it injury concern with
There's
Jacobs?
One person that it's not picked that I'm like, holy crap. Okay, what was it?
Mr. Scampers wants to know, is it injury
Mhm.
concern with Jacobs? Why is he going after similar backs, Sanders, CEH, Robinson? So
I
do you
don't-
think he's in the right spot, Jacobs, and why is he down there?
I don't think Josh Jacobs has shown enough of a ceiling for most people out there. While he's been relatively consistent throughout his career, he really doesn't ever win you a week, right? Like over the course of this season, even at PPR league, he had 1 week over 20 fantasy points, and that was week 18, which a lot of fantasy players aren't even playing in. So while Josh Jacobs is heavily involved, it's just the Raiders have shown a tendency to go away from him at times. He does have injury concerns. I personally would draft Josh Jacobs ahead of Miles Sanders, but that's the end of the list. Like I'm seeing all the running backs go in front of him. Like maybe I would consider Ezekiel Elliott. I would draft him over James Robinson. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and David Montgomery are probably still both ahead of him. So like, Josh, this is probably the range he belongs in for me personally.
Jordan, how do you feel about Josh Jacobs?
Nice pick, Brady.
I think that he's underrated. I think there's a lot of value to be had in Jacobs, especially with how much the Raiders want to run the ball. But I think part of it too, at least for me, is like who are they going to bring in there and what's their coaching philosophy going to be? And is it going to match up with Jacobs? We know that Jacobs was a good fit with Gruden, and even with the interim head coach so far, he's been a good fit, but he hasn't really been healthy a whole lot. And we don't know who's going to be coaching there next season. If they have a scheme that doesn't really conducive to what Jacobs does well, then maybe he's not as successful. But I think in the same breath, maybe they bring someone in who wants to run the ball a lot and he is successful. I think he's a middle round guy that definitely could see value, but again, there's also Clyde out there where it's like, what is his ceiling? Is he ever going to get even like 8 touchdowns, catch 50 passes? We don't know. And I think both those guys are guys that could see massive rises, but who knows? Oh, Dawson Knox went. Who is that? Oh,
I don't know, but he's been
insane.
killing this draft. He's
That's
been
a
doing
stat.
I
it.
like the
was-
back-to-back Gesicki Knox picks. I actually do right there. I think those are great picks.
Man, that was a great pick. That
Real
was
fast, Jordan.
That was the
would
last
you go
guy
Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Josh Jacobs if you had to choose?
I would probably take Jacobs. I trust the rushing floor way more with Jacobs. I'm not as worried with the receiving floor because I don't know what kind of receiving floor Clyde Edwards-Helaire has. He's supposed to be this big catch guy, and he's just not really getting it done.
Not been utilized that way at all, right?
How do you guys feel about Christian Kirk? I just saw K-Cam took him. Do you think that he stays in Arizona?
When's his contract up?
This year, I believe he's done.
Pick up
I believe he's done.
Yeah, I don't think
No,
he
he's
had
a second round pick.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
But I'm if he's not in Arizona, if he gets re-signed by Arizona, it's showing they want to commit to him, they want to invest in him, then I am going to be. I think this is a good value for Christian Kirk. If he goes to another team, I'm not going to be excited.
Yeah,
unless
it's
a very high power team that needs a wide receiver.
I think he's talented, and I think we've seen that this year when he stepped up with DeAndre Hopkins out. I think maybe that might elevate some expectations going into next year if he's still on the Cardinals with Hopkins there. But we saw a bit of like a changing of the way they use Hopkins this year, right? He's always been like the target monster. He soaks up every single target in that offense, and that wasn't the case this year. So yeah, maybe arrows are pointing up for Kirk, but I'm with you, Josh. If he switches teams, it's going to be tough for me to buy in as much as I will on the Cardinals here. Came out a question about two more wide receivers. The first one was Calvin Ridley. Do we have any update? Is he going to the Eagles? Any news on Calvin Ridley? I saw that he wanted to be on a new team or maybe start fresh, but I haven't seen anything definite. Have you guys?
The Eagles don't make a ton of sense to me, to be honest. Like they just drafted Devonta Smith. I feel like they have a similar skill set, kind of when it comes down to it. Good route runners. I don't know. The Eagles don't make a lot of sense to me personally.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on Calvin Ridley. Jordan, Cam has another question about Michael Thomas. Oh, are you on the clock right now? And I keep on doing this while you're on the clock.
It's okay. I was just trying to figure out my disgusting mess that I ran into. But yeah, and then part of it was choosing the quarterback I wanted to stack with because I could have went Hurts, I could have went Lance, could have went Fields, ultimately went Lance. Picked the offense in that situation. I like Lance a lot. I think he can offer supremely talented upside. I didn't necessarily want to go quarterback. I was going to potentially wait, but I figured Hurts and Fields would be very close in this kind of range. So I decided to go Lance and took Kmet, hoping that Kmet could be a great receiver. You know, we'll see what happens with him. I hope that Fields can get him the ball, but after Dawson Knox, I was just not feeling.
I love Dawson Knox, Jordan. I love that you're a Dawson Knox fan. I'm very high on him as well. And Trey Lance was the quarterback pick there, if you ask me, as well.
Sweet. I did leave
even
Dak
though
on the board.
If this is a real dynasty league, like, and you're not going to draft two quarterbacks, I'm assuming, in a one quarterback league, but in a real dynasty league, you would have to, like, you have to make sure you have another guy that's for sure starting next year, I think, right?
Yeah. How do you guys feel about Gronk versus Kmet? Because I almost took Gronk. I'm like, if this is really my roster, I would probably be just taking Gronk for the stability. Okay.
I would have drafted Gronk.
This is the range once we get past that 6th, 7th round.
Made it back.
Yeah.
I'm not as worried about age at this point. I'm just taking value, and Gronk screams as a tight end value in the 9th round. I think even in the 8th round right there, you get 1-2 more years of like elite production out of him, which I think as long as Tom Brady's playing, that's what you're going to get. But man, I don't know. I think I would have gone Gronk as well, but I get going Kmet right there, especially with the way your team is constructed. You've got a lot of young talent. It might make more sense for you to grab the young tight end.
Yeah, I'm with you, Simon. I think you summed it up.
I think I'd go Kmet.
Justin, we didn't answer Justin's other question right there. He wanted to know about Michael Thomas. JL, how do you feel about Michael Thomas coming into this next season?
He's got an uphill battle. When was the last time he played? Like, really played?
Played what? Football or
played
Yu-Gi-Oh?
football? Yeah, I mean, I don't know when he played Yu-Gi-Oh last. Probably
in 2020. He played in Week 14 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I believe in Michael Thomas's talent. I was bullish on him coming into this season. There's a lot of uncertainty, and so that has to be factored into his price. How old is he now? He's got to be like 28.
28.
At least
28.
I think he's certainly worth stashing because he's got the talent. We've seen he has the talent. Now it's just about waiting out and finding a situation where he's going to be able to actually showcase that talent.
Jordan, how do you feel about Michael Thomas?
Oh, Brady.
I'm not worried about him at all, actually. I think that he's going to be just fine. He had his little bit of issues this year. The Saints weren't very good. He didn't really feel like coming back. Whether he's on the Saints next year, I'm not too sure, but I think that he's shown that he can succeed no matter what. He can get open. He's going to catch everything thrown his way. He just needs a quarterback to get him the ball. He's shown he can get it done with Taysom Hill. He's shown he can get it done with Teddy Two Gloves, obviously with Drew Brees, Jameis Winston. I'm not too worried. I think he's pretty much QB proof. The only thing with him is his age. He's a little bit older, but pretty much no matter where he goes, he's going to produce, in my opinion.
Has he gotten drafted yet? No?
Yeah, he went 7.
Oh, I see him. Jay Wall,
To
7-12.
Jay Wall. Man,
Gotcha.
Jay Wall's drafting those first 3 picks are very not Jay Wall. I think he said it earlier in the draft. He drafts youth and dynasty startups, but this was looking more like a win now team for Jay Wall right there.
He's trying to win that win now rankings on the mock draft review.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Got it.
Michael Thomas or Juju Smith-Schuster for you guys in a dynasty league.
I think I would go Juju potentially.
I think so too.
I think it's because, and especially even for me, I traded for Juju in one of my leagues this year. That was like kind of on the fringe. Even though he got hurt and was out for the year, I was like, you know what? Forget it. Tanking this year. I'm going in on Juju. I'm hoping he can go to a perfect situation. And maybe it's the Chiefs. I don't know. It was rumored. It was speculated. I don't think he ends up going to the Chiefs, but I think that Juju's going to have a market, and he's probably going to go to a team that's going to throw a lot. That team that's what he wants. And I don't know. I don't think he stays in Pittsburgh, and I think that'd be really great for his value going forward.
I really don't think he stays in Pittsburgh.
I'm with you guys. Joey says Chaboy J. Rich's team name should be the Round Table since he likes Lance a lot. Boom. Good one right there. Jay Wall said, name a team with better wide receivers than me. And Matt Hill said, Hopkins is going to retire in a year. Ridley already retired, and Michael Thomas needs to retire that ankle. So he does not think that you.
What about Enhos? Or I don't know how to pronounce it. NHOS.
I'll take Ja'Marr Chase, Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle over Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah,
but
too.
You got good wide receivers. Jay Wall. I like your wide receivers.
Well, Michael Thomas as the fourth one is better than Michael Gallup as Enhos' fourth one. So that's good, but the top end talent, yeah.
The wide receivers have just I feel like more than usual. Usually there's some value, and maybe that it does shift a little bit in dynasty, but the wide receivers have really dried up.
Yeah, it's I'm not used to this. I'm used to having my choice of wide receiver down here at the end. Justin had a wide receiver question. He wanted to know why I took OBJ over Woods. I'm curious about you guys, who you would take first in a dynasty league. Obviously, I would take OBJ, but Josh, would you take OBJ or Woods first in a dynasty league?
That's a fantastic question, Simon. And I guess I haven't really thought about Woods. I love what they're both the same age. They're obviously both on the same team right now. I love what I saw out of OBJ once he got out from underneath Baker Mayfield. Matt, if he's still with Matthew Stafford, it's going to be, both these guys could be with Matthew Stafford next year. So it's a tough one. I'm fine going either way there. They'd be neck and neck in my rankings. It's really just who'd you rather take a shot on, in my opinion.
Jordan, what about you? OBJ or Woods in dynasty?
I think if OBJ's on another team, it's probably Woods. But I do have a feeling that he's just going to be like, you know what? I'll just stay in LA, small contract, not so worried about the money anymore. He's got, a lot of money. He'd probably get tons of endorsements in LA. I don't know. I think for him now, it's more about winning, more about the situation than it is about getting paid. And so that's my only fear. And then I think if they're both in LA, I'd probably prefer OBJ. But if for some reason he goes somewhere else, chances are I'd probably rather have Woods because Woods has just produced at a mega level in LA so far.
Yeah. I think Jordan summed it up pretty well, honestly.
I'm struggling with this pick.
Whoa, hold on. I did not know Dak Prescott was still on the board, JL. What a steal with Dak Prescott at the 10-2. Let's go. I think that is the best value at quarterback in this draft.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
Man,
I thought you were going to be mean.
No. I haven't been that mean, have I?
You haven't.
Enhos 1995 has been sniping me over and over and over again, but I love their draft. It's looking really good so far. Ravens football in here. Welcome in, Ravens football. Glad to have someone
What up,
official from the
Ravens
NFL
football?
in the chat. What about Kirk to Green
Love your
Bay?
team, by
Christian
the
Kirk
way.
to Green Bay. If Rodgers is there, then I'm excited about it for Kirk. But if Rodgers is not there, then I'm not excited about
Jordan Love to
Kirk.
Christian Kirk. That
I don't
sounds like a
care
match made in
about
heaven.
that. Jordan, how do you feel about Kirk to Green Bay?
Kirk to Green Bay? I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. Jordan Love is the real problem. It's not so much Christian Kirk. I think Christian Kirk is good.
Oh, I'm
but
with you on
Green
that,
Bay,
yeah.
it's going to be stinky once Rodgers leaves, even if Adams is still there. And they're talking about franchise tagging him, which is just the worst. But I guess we'll see. Chenault, 10-9. I don't know, man. Joey,
Too
what
high.
are you doing, man? But what are you guys doing with Chenault? Like, honestly,
We talked
he's
about
done
this with
nothing.
Our fan
So
recap
I
was-
just made a video today redrafting the 2022 wide receivers, and Laviska Shenault was not in my top 10.
Yeah.
So
Why would he be?
Top 10 receivers just from the 2022 draft. So having said that, I'm looking at the wide receivers going around him. Obviously, Henry Ruggs. Come on. I mean, no. But Laviska Shenault next to Russell Gage, I'm fine with.
Yeah. Jay has a question for you, Josh. Why was Baker sitting on OBJ if OBJ got out from under him?
That's just what Baker does,
sits on people.
And that's why they run so slow.
Sits on his receivers.
It's hard for them to run when
He
Baker's
likes to
sitting
warm
on
them like he's a mama bird.
It's disgusting. I don't know why that visual is like. Imagine him like also like
Endearing.
feeding them. He's sitting on the chest and Mama Bird feeding
Regurgitating.
them. Matt said Rashad Penny being the best RB in football the last 5 weeks pretty much sums up 2021 perfectly. Yeah,
Oh my
that
God.
checks out. That checks out right there.
There's a few good teams. I really like some of these teams so far.
Yeah, we got some
there's a few
people in
teams that
here
stand out.
picking out their favorites. Who's your favorite, Josh?
Who's my? I think Jay Wall is building actually a really strong win now team.
Yeah, because he's just sniping me. That's the only reason this team is good.
Well, he's doing a good job doing it. I'll be honest. Like,
Yes.
I'm just looking at like his starting lineup is going to be nasty next year. I really like Jordan's team, so I like both the ends. So maybe that's saying something. Maybe there's something about having an end pick. I love Jordan's team. I love Jay Wall's team. Let's see. I like Enho's team. I don't know. Okay, if you're in the chat there, and can you tell me how to pronounce this? How you would like me to pronounce this?
KKM
Enho's.
seems to think it's Nos, like Nos
Nos?
in a car. Like that.
I guess
That's
I could
what they
see
seem to
that.
think in the chat. So
NHOS. Yeah.
yeah, I got to make this pick. Why does everyone suck? Sorry, to
I like
those of you on the
KKM's
board.
team, but I'm just a little bit concerned about his wide receivers, especially for next season. They're so young. They're great dynasty receivers, but your number one wide receiver being Elijah Moore is a little concerning to me. But I guess I said I love Jaboy Rich's team, Jordan's team, and his number one receiver is Devonta Smith. I feel a little bit more comfortable with Devonta Smith when it comes down to it, though, and Mooney and Ayuk just as a whole.
Yeah, I think the thing for me is I have
You
a
got
lot
Gabe
of
Davis too!
wide receiver too.
I'm
Yeah,
so-
Gabe Davis just fell into my lap. I'm just like,
He was the number
Well, why
10 wide
not?
receiver in that list I was just talking about from the 2022.
why
It was
not?
between
He's
him and
right
LaVisca
there.
for me. I was trying to decide between.
Also, Jay Will said his name is Nolan. The Nolan with the sunglasses said Nolan Hostetler. So N
Gotcha.
Haas N
So N
Haas
Haas.
1995.
N Haas.
We
Yeah,
got it. We figured
gotcha.
it out.
Okay, cool. Cool.
We got your name now. Now we can just call you Nolan. But great team so far, Nolan.
Or
I'm
Haas.
loving it. Or Haas. Yeah, we'll just call you Haas. Or
It's one of my
Tetler.
favorite generic nicknames. Like
Haas?
Guy. Hey, what's up, Haas?
Yeah, I've never heard you say that before, Joe. You got to start
That's
using
weird,
it more
yeah.
if it's your favorite.
That's weird. I use it all the time.
Maybe I need to listen better. That's
Yeah.
probably what's going on.
That's
right
what
there.
it is.
And Jay Wall said, I prefer Nolan's wide receivers too, actually.
Sorry. Brady had a question. Jacoby Myers or LaVisca? Who would you rather take in a dynasty draft? I
None.
might just take the shot on LaVisca if you made me.
Yeah, I think I would
Yeah.
between those two.
I'm with you. The upside for LaVisca is still there, even if it's a small percentage chance that they figure out how to use him in that offense, or that even has the skill set that we thought he had, that NFL skill set. But yeah, I'll take Visca.
But at the
we
same
know
time,
what we
Jacoby
got.
has produced more, right? So
Right.
I think I'm taking LaVisca, but I understand the argument the other way.
I just feel like Jacoby's either going to end up on my bench or Laviska's going to end up in my starting lineup or on the waiver wire. Know what I mean? And I'll take the guy that's going to be on my starting lineup or on the waiver wire probably at this point in the draft. But it's close.
God, I have no wide receiver depth, but I don't like any of these guys.
I'm sure there's one hiding. I'm sure there's one that's got some upside that's hiding there.
Maybe, but I won't get him.
Kaysen said nobody wants to comment on Numbnuts team. I'm guessing that's their team. I like the Austin Eckler pick in the first round. I think he started strong with Eckler, Diggs, Johnson. I don't love the next two picks though. Robinson,
James
Thielen,
Robinson worries me.
Worries the snot out of me. But as your RB2, that's fine. You got Gaskin at the end there. It's okay. Jordan, what do you think about that team? Picking out of the 6th spot.
Picking out of the 6th spot. Eckler, Diggs. I like Deontay a lot. I think that's maybe a little high for me, but I am a big fan. I'm curious to see how that offense looks. I don't love the Thielen pick personally. I know Thielen's good, but like I got probably 3 receivers I like after Thielen. Renfro was interesting at 6'9", but Rodgers, I guess he's a little bit older, but he's good. I like Schultz too. Schultz will be really good in this format. Really good PPR monster.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That's about how I'm feeling about this team. I love the first 3 picks, and after that, it gets a little off for me, but that's okay. This could be a great team.
Real fast in regard to that team, what I would change personally, instead of Eckler, I'd probably take Justin Jefferson or Ja'Marr Chase in the first round. The second round, I'd probably then end up taking Nick Chubb at this spot instead of Stephon Diggs. And then I'm fine with Deontay Johnson there. Deontay Johnson or Jalen Waddle. James Robinson, I'm terrified of in the 4th round, having a torn Achilles and with Travis Etienne coming back. So, but this can be still a good team, no doubt.
Yeah, it's got the pieces there, right? If things fall away, if James Robinson, there's a world where he is the locked and loaded full starter for that offense next year. Not that I necessarily think that, but like that's in the range of outcomes. Yeah, there's that risk that I'm not drafting in the 4th round. Nico Collins, damn it, Brady.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pick.
And I didn't even see Sony was still on the board whenever I was making that last pick. I probably would have taken him over Kenny Galladay.
Oh, Jordan. So look, when you drafted Trey Lance, we were a little bit concerned about that pick because we're not 100% sure he'll be the starter next year while we do project it. But you're like, I was kind of considering Justin Fields, but look at that. You waited a whole round. You were the first pick there and you still ended up getting Justin Fields. So I'm sure you're pretty happy about that, huh?
Yeah, and so like for me, I have such a good foundation with the running backs, but I'm going to need a stable quarterback. I'm going to compete. So get Lance, get Fields. They maybe platoon a little bit. And if they both, for some reason, skyrocket in value, I have a trade asset that I like. I still have the stack both ways. I think for me, it was just made sense because I could have went Stafford, could have went Watson, but I don't know. I just like the upside of Fields. And while I wanted them around earlier, came back around and worked out for me. I'll take them.
Yeah. Are you at all nervous about Cole Kmet being your starting tight end going into next season?
No, I have another guy actually that I would take with my last pick. He's not going to be my last pick.
Sorry if I ruined anything.
No. There's a guy that I do want. Well, there's a few guys that I would take, and I can talk through it when we finally get there. Because I'll have the last pick. But there is one guy that I think is going to be a good option. Now the tight end run's going to come. There's going to be nobody.
Also, Cam, I'm curious to see what your pick is right here. He says, got to tell me what you think about this last pick of mine. I'm stuck at interesting. KJ Hamler. So, Jordan, how do you feel about Hamler in a dynasty league?
I like Hamler a lot, but there is no way that dude's getting targets. There's just too many guys there.
They signed Tim Patrick. They got Jerry Jeudy under contract. They signed Cortland Sutton. They have Noah Fant.
There's just no way. Like I just outside of a couple of deep shots, maybe like him in best ball. I just don't know how you're possibly going to find any value anytime to start him. There's not going to be much opportunity without injury. And I believe he's coming off an ACL injury as well, which kind of sucks for him. So hopefully he's back full strength by training camp. But yeah, there's just not a lot of targets for him available right now. And that's the biggest problem.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm curious to see what your last pick is now, Jordan. Hopefully Dan doesn't snipe you right here. Or you know what? That would
both the teams in front of you have 2 tight ends already. So let's cross our fingers, I guess. But I think you're pretty safe.
Yeah.
But who knows? There's one team that has 3 tight ends already. Simon.
Me? I'm the one. Also,
Yep.
my mom in here with a smiley face. Glad to have you back in here,
Hi, Mom.
Thanks for watching. Sorry
Miss
if you
you.
heard me
I
say
love
the
you.
F-bomb earlier.
Come to Maryland.
I
Yeah.
didn't mean
How
it. It was
dare you.
actually JL who said it, and he made it
It
look
was
like
me.
I said it.
It was all me, Mom. Don't yell at Simon, please.
Okay, now my mom stopped
Don't
listening.
hit him again.
My mom stopped listening. JL's mom stay here.
Yeah,
I
plug
said
your
the
ears.
F word. It wasn't JL. And
Yeah, stop blowing up my phone, Ma.
Tom Brady
looks
was
like you're gonna have a choice of tight end.
talk us through it.
So I'm not taking a tight end. My guy's still
Okay.
there.
Gotcha.
It's Ronald Jones. But the tight ends
Hey!
that
I like that.
I was considering, Logan Thomas, who is going to come back, probably see a decent amount of targets. Tyler Higbee, obviously. Robert Tonyan, injured, but again, if he comes back and is the starting tight end in Green Bay, I like it regardless of who the quarterback is. Obviously, Rodgers, much higher upside. But Jordan Love, probably likely going to target the tight end quite a bit. So I do think that's a fine spot. And Dan Arnold as well, injured. But if he holds down that spot in Jacksonville, could be a fruitful position. Again, these are guys that are going pretty late, so you could even wait further rounds. But Jones is a free agent this year, so he could go to a good team. You know, if someone believes in him, there could be opportunity. And so with my stable of running backs I have, he's never going to start unless there's a serious, situation, someone gets injured. But Jones could walk into a starting position at some point throughout the offseason. We just don't know. But again, you're projecting going forward. We know he's a free agent. Maybe there's opportunity for him down the line.
I could see Atlanta signing him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that'd be a good landing spot for him too, right? I'd be pretty happy with that. I love that last round pick. But Jordan, you were hitting it. There's so many interesting tight ends in the late rounds of these drafts. 90% of them aren't going to hit. They'll be in that tight end glob. But another name that we didn't bring up, I drafted David Njoku, but there's another tight end on Cleveland that I think is worth drafting in the later rounds of these dynasty drafts, especially tight end premium, and that's Harrison Bryant. Whenever he has been the sole tight end on the field, he's found success. But there's 3 tight ends there right now: Hooper, Njoku, and Bryant. Njoku's likely gone after this year. We'll see what happens with Hooper, but I like Bryant in a dynasty league. Also, my mom in here, except it's not my mom, it's my sister pretending to be my mom.
Oh, got him.
Got me. Also, JR in here saying 30 watching now. What's the record? I saw it hit 33 for a second there. I'm not sure. Let's
we've gotten at least 50 at some point.
50 concurrent. It was probably the last time Jordan was on. We got up to 50. But I'm
definitely
not sure.
not.
Well,
JJ could get 50 for sure.
Well, the real question is how many people liked the video? Because we have 29 watching right now.
true.
So
Let's see
it
how
should
many
be
of you
29
liked
likes.
it.
I don't know.
That's a
There's
great
20,
point, Josh.
which is pretty
Guys,
good.
that is it for the mock draft for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to be doing these on Mondays throughout the off season. And a reminder, if you want first dibs at grabbing one of those spots, make sure you join our Discord. That is where we post it first. So if you are in our Discord, you'll have first dibs at grabbing a spot in these mocks. You can take your pick. Anything that JL, Josh, and I and our guests don't pick is open game for you guys. So JL's going to send the link in the chat. So make sure you guys join over there. And like Josh said, hit like on this video. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy.
Follow Jordan too. Jordan
That's
is the
what I
man.
was gonna
Jordan
say,
is like
guys.
literally one of my favorite people.
More
Thank you,
important,
guys.
probably. Yeah.
More important. Yeah, make sure you guys go follow Jordan. You can see his Twitter handle right there below his beautiful face at your boy J Rich. Jordan, thank you so much for coming on today. It's always a pleasure whenever you're here. And if you guys are up early, if you guys are up early,
8 a.m.
Go check out Jordan's show. Jordan, you want to tell them a little bit about what you guys do on that 8 a.m. show?
So it is 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wake Up with Ray G, my host, Ray Garvin. We talk Dynasty Fantasy Football. We're diving deep into the draft. We did a mock draft Monday. We did round 1 today. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to go through round 2, tell you who you want to draft, who you want to avoid. We're going to tell you that Brian Robinson sucks tomorrow. I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't matter if he goes off for 200 yards today. We are going to tell you that he is not worth drafting. He is a plotter. He's not good, but round 2 is tomorrow. So definitely come check that out. But definitely follow these guys. Drop them a like, subscribe. It's a great show. That's why I've been on it like Jordan. 6 times.
We're talking about you,
I keep
Jordan.
coming back.
Is this
can't
number
stop,
6?
won't stop ever. I don't know what it is. It's been.
It feels like
quite
number
a few.
a million.
It hasn't been enough, regardless.
It's certainly not enough. Whatever the number is,
double it. Scott in here saying Jordan is a great guy who goes out of his way to help others. He absolutely does.
Helped us out a ton.
And always willing since we've been in the space. And even before he knew he was helping us getting our lighting and video set up through that video series he put out. But Jordan, really appreciate everything you do for this community. And thank you so much for coming on today. Guys, that is going to be it for us today. We are out of here. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time for some more fantasy football game show fun. So make sure you guys tune in then. Until then, adios, everyone. Enjoy the national championship game.
Trading makes fantasy fun. There will also probably be a mock draft review at some point, but yeah, whatever.
Just a visual of Jack.
Oops. I didn't mean to cut you off, Chad. My mouse was already
fine.
cut.
Nobody
What happened?
needed.
Wait,
Yeah,
I'm
bro,
that was
it's fine.
hilarious.
do it again.
It's just fine. It's fine.
Yeah, JL, just say what you were
I'm
gonna say.
afraid. I don't even want to because I know you're going to do it again.
Oh, man.
Josh
I
falling off
wanted
a cliff. Josh. So the visual was like Josh falling off a cliff and he's just yelling, trading makes fantasy fun.